Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Joe here of Sports Grid, and it's time for a Puck It with Joe. Now, I know a couple games did get underway already today, but we did talk about those yesterday, so hopefully you tuned into the show then. We had the Dallas Stars completely blow out the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, they were minus 145 of favorites in that one. They got an 8-1 win over the Lightning, and we got two games in a process right now. So let's have a quick look at those lines, all odds are over from FanDuel. So if you're looking for the where I'm getting those lines to place those bets. So the current games right now, we got the Winnipeg Jets. They just actually did close out the game versus the Chicago Blackhawks. They got the 3-1 win. It was a great game there. Out of the Jets, Connor Hellebuck in goal. Looking at the other game, and if there's an opportunity to jump in on this one, the New York Rangers taking on the Nashville Predators. Now, when we look going into this game, let me just get you what they were coming in. We had the New York Rangers as a favorite, minus 135 ish on them going into this game. The Nashville Predators plus 112 here at home. Now, the Predators did win the last matchup back in October between these two. So, live lines right now with the Nashville Predators up 2-0 in the first. They're a massive favorite now. $3 favorite, minus 330 here, total 6.5. I did expect this one to be a lower scoring one. I am on that under 6.5, but I did expect it to be a competitive battle out here. I'm actually shocked the Nashville Predators have been able to go up by 2 goals in the first one. I think there is a nice opportunity to grab the New York Rangers plus 1.5. That's coming in at minus 122. Now, if you think they can come back and get the full win here, you'd be looking at plus 240 on the money line. The Predators are doing a really solid job so far in this game. Saros and Quick are your goaltenders in this matchup. So, interesting one here to see. The Rangers down. Both of these teams on the first night of a back-to-back. But when we look at that, the New York Rangers will face the Sharks tomorrow back at home, and the Sabres will be the Preds will be facing the Sabres on the road on Sunday. So they do have a travel situation coming up. And when we look at these two teams, the road team has had the advantage. So it does go back to the fact that you could take the Rangers here on that money line to come back in this one. I'm not watching this game though, so fair warning on that. Just what I was liking going into it, watching SMU right now. So every time my eyes go this way, it's because that is where the TV is. And I tell you, this game with SMU and Tulane, I've got SMU to come out and get the win, and they're tied right now, 7-7. So your fingers crossed for me. Let's look at the next game coming up. Now, this one kicks off at 6 o'clock Eastern here. We have the New York Islanders taking on the Florida Panthers. Minus 172 here for the Florida Panthers, plus 142. The Islanders total 6.5. Now, the 6.5 is juiced to the under, minus 134. And I do think this is one you need to back that under in this game. Now, the Florida Panthers, they are a deadly team offensively, and I do believe that. They're averaging those 3 goals and 33.7 shots on goal per game, which is second overall in the league. But we look at them here. They will be facing Sorokin in net for the Islanders, and he is a hard goalie for them to score on. And then when you look at the Florida Panthers, and I know it's Stollar's confirmed here, not their number one goalie, not Bobrovsky. You look at what this defense is able to do and how they're able to lock down their opponents. I'm really impressed with what we've seen out of this team defensively and how they're not getting these penalties this season. So they're only allowing 27.6 shots on goal per game. They have a super strong kill, third best overall in the league at 82.5%. So it comes to the fact of, do you trust the Islanders on the road? And I don't. And yes, they got the win on Thursday versus the Carolina Hurricanes in a high-scoring game, 5-4. I just don't see this being a high-scoring game, and I don't see the Islanders being able to compete here. They're 1-5 in the last 6 meetings versus the Florida Panthers, and 1-4 in the last 5 in Florida. So this is the Florida Panthers. You just got to find some way to make some money off of this because that money line is so highly juiced. Now they are back home off that road trip. But that's okay. They're off till Wednesday. I don't think this is a situation where we will count out the Florida Panthers off that road trip. So it's the Panthers here. I probably look at them in regulation. My favorite bet is the under 6.5, though, in this one. Let's turn to the next game. We have the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, odds right now on FanDuel, the Sabres coming in at plus 198. We have the Carolina Hurricanes minus 245, total 6.5, now minus 110 to the over and under. If you like Carolina for the big win, you got to lay that 1.5 at minus 102. You can grab the Buffalo Sabres plus 1.5 at minus 118. So there's value on both teams here on the puck line. I do think what we will get out of this one with backup goalie in here for the Carolina Hurricanes with Kochetkov in net. He's got a 2.93 goals against average save percentage of 0.878. We will see the goals come for the Buffalo Sabres as well. I like what we've seen out of this team. They're able to get these goals averaging 2.96 goals per game and 29.1 shots on goal. Now, their power play needs to really step up. It's only converting at 15.1%. Versus the Carolina Hurricanes, it's going to be a hard matchup. Their power play is at 20.3. This team getting the most shots on goal across the league at 34.1 on average and 3.36 goals per game. So I'm going to automatically take this one to the over 6.5. I think we have a higher scoring battle. I'm actually shocked we're getting it at minus 110. And I think the books are kind of counting out the fact that you can get the Buffalo Sabres to find at the back of the net a couple of times in this one. You want to play it a little bit safer? I would look at the Carolina Hurricanes team total to that over, the over 3.5. This team is off a loss, and you know they're going to come out and bring the fire in this one. The home team has gone 6-1 in the last 7 matchups as well. I also think this is a game you can look at the over 1.5 in the first period, that coming in at minus 132, and both teams to score in the first period at plus 166. Like I said, I have faith in the Buffalo Sabres to come out strong. And if I was going to take either team on that puck line, it's got to be the Buffalo Sabres plus 1.5 at minus 118. We look at this team on the road this season, 9-4 on the road on that puck line versus Carolina on the puck line at home. They're winning, but they're winning in a tight game, 7-2-1 at home this season, 4-6 on that puck line. So I expect this one to be a tighter game, but a higher scoring, a tighter game. The next game, we're going to talk about the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Montreal Canadiens. And firstly, want to say my prayers go out to Dylan Larkin and his wife. They lost their baby this past week. So hard spot for them. Include them in your prayers, please. And then let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens and the positives there. Sam Montembeault has been signed to that new contract. So that is phenomenal. We won't see him in the net, though, tonight. Jake Allen will be in the net. The next time Sam Montembeault hits the ice in the next game, look for him to go over his save shots on goal. I think SMU just got a touchdown. Fingers crossed, you guys. I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye. So I'd look at Sam Montembeault in the next one. Yeah, SMU with the touchdown. But then Alex Newhook here is out for 10 to 12 weeks with a high ankle sprain. So not great news there for the Montreal Canadiens. Current lines on this game, Montreal, the home dog, at plus 128, minus 154 for the Detroit Red Wings, total 6.5. Now that 6.5 is minus 114 to the under, minus 106 to the over. No value on that puck line unless you're looking to ride the puck line for the Detroit Red Wings at minus 1.5 at plus 155. Now, we talked about the fact Dylan Larkin won't be in the lineup tonight. Patrick Kane's still not in the lineup here, so we will wait and see when he is going to be available to start playing with this team. He's going to be so impactful. I do think this team is able to make the playoffs. Looks like someone is injured out there for Tulane. Okay, so looking at this matchup here, both of these goalies have been known to give up these goals. Sam Montembeault is clearly the stronger goalie, in my opinion, for the Montreal Canadiens. When we look at Jake Allen, he has a 3.59 goals against average and a 0.903 save percentage. And we've got Billy Huso expected here for the Red Wings. He's been allowing more goals this season with a 3.44 goals against average and a 0.892 save percentage. One thing I would look at here is the Montreal Canadiens start off notoriously slow in these games. So, and this is a team that comes back. So live betting the Montreal Canadiens, when you get them plus 2.5 on that puck line or plus 1.5 on that puck line, whatever this number goes to, automatic for me, because this team can come back in these games. Even if you're going into the third period and they're down 2 goals, this is a team that can come back. So I have faith in them in those situations, but because they start off slow, I really like looking at that other team and looking at a way we can make some money with them. The Detroit Red Wings, in the first period to score the first goal is coming in at plus 110. It looks so easy and sounds so easy. And I think it really is going to be in this one. I look for Detroit to come out nice and fast and get that first goal of this game. It doesn't have to be in the first 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be in the first 10. It can be anywhere during the first period as long as it's the first goal of the first period here. You will cash at plus 110. I do think it's an over 6.5 as well. Like I said, both of these teams can score, with the Red Wings coming in here at a 3.68 goals per game on average, and the Montreal Canadiens at 2.7. But like I said, slow starters, they do get things done in the end. Cab, thank you for being here. Dabby Cab. He's trying to read your thing, Cab. See what it was. Let's have a great day today. I don't know about you. If you're on SMU, this is a nerve-wracking game. I keep staring over there. You guys, let me know what you're writing in college football today in these championship games. They are killer. And what you're liking tonight on the ice. Now, I am on Sports Grid tonight from 8 p.m. Eastern all the way to midnight. We have Mark jumping on. He's going to be talking some UFC. He's got great bets in that. College football and NFL tomorrow. And then we have Brady Cannon coming in as well, talking NFL for tomorrow, those circa picks and million picks as well. So it's going to be a good night tonight on the grid. Cap, we're going to have you on sometime shortly as well. Let's look at the next game here. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the Ottawa Senators. Let me just find the odds here for this one. The Seahawks the Seattle Kraken coming in at plus 105, minus 126 for the Senators. Total 6.5. Now minus 110 to both sides of that over and under. Now, Grubauer on Forsberg expected in net for these teams. Both of these teams have the ability to get the goals, and I really do like the top line here for the Seattle Kraken. They are able to score. This is the second night of a back-to-back for the Ottawa Senators. They lost last night to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Was this a little bit of a look ahead? I don't know. I really like what we've seen out of the Ottawa Senators, except for the last couple games. We know they lost in that frustrating game to the Florida Panthers. Brady Tkachuk against Matthew Tkachuk. That was the game where everyone basically got sent off the ice for a good 10 minutes. So I think Ottawa is due to bounce back in this one. I really do. But you got to look at what Seattle's being able to do. So I think this is a good one to look at the over 6.5. Look at the opportunity to go to overtime, and also look at who you think is going to get these goals. Now, Jared McCann would be my go-to here for the Seattle Kraken. I like what we've seen out of him. Top line, top power play. And then looking at the other side of the puck, it is Brady Tkachuk. He has been held off the scoreboard the last couple games, but plus 145 here for the anytime goal. The Kraken's last 3 road games have gone over that total as well. So I like a big night out of him. Oh, Dab, it's going to be a crazy night out there. I have SFU. I laid the 5.5 last week with them. So, okay, let's move on to the next game here. We've got the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins matching up. Now, odds right now, the Flyers are coming in at plus 150, minus 182 for the Pittsburgh Penguins, total 6.5. Looking at this matchup here, Ersson is confirmed in net. Now, he was incredibly hot the last time he came out for the Islanders. Against the Islanders, he got the shutout. And I didn't expect that out of Ersson. I expected him to falter in that game, and he was phenomenal. So no Carter Hart, but Ersson off a shutout win. Should be strong in this one. Tristan Jarry on the other side for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I do like what we've seen out of the Penguins. They got that win over the Lightning 4-2 in their last game out. And the Flyers have lost their last 2. They lost to the Devils on Thursday. It was a 4-3 overtime loss there. So they came out pretty strong in that one. They allowed a lot of shots on goal. And this is something this team normally doesn't do. They normally hold opponents to 27.7 shots on goal per game, 4th best overall in the league. They've got a really strong kill as well at 83.8. So I do expect defense to really tighten up in this game. When we look at the Pittsburgh Penguins, this team only allowing that 2.59 goals per game and a strong kill here as well at 85.3. I think Pittsburgh can take this in regulation, and I think that's the best way to go. Looking at them in regulation, you're around minus 120, minus 125 there. And I do think because with Ersson off that phenomenal game And the Pittsburgh Penguins really supporting Tristan Jarry. I expect more out of them in this one. Jarry to stand on his head. I think this one stays under that total 6.5. It just seems too high for these two teams matched up. Let's move on to the next game here. We have, who do we have? Hang on just one sec. We have the Boston Bruins taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, you guys. The Boston Bruins rolling into Toronto. Their odds right now are minus 108, minus 111 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Total 6.5, just to that under at minus 132. We know how strong these two teams are scoring, except the problem is here we also know how strong goaltending can be on both sides of the puck. For the Boston Bruins, they need to come out, they need to lock down defensively if they want to get this win. Allmark is confirmed in goal. He's got a 2.64 goals against average and a 0.917 save percentage. Now, this team only allowing an average of 2.5 goals per game, fifth best overall in the league. And when you look at those shots allowed on their goaltender defense, I want to see step up a little bit more as we get deeper into the season. They're still allowing 31.7 shots on goal. So it is coming down to being on Omar's shoulder. Now, Joseph Wall here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's getting peppered as well. He's got a strong goals against average of 2.47, a save percentage of 0.917. But we see the Leafs allowing 32.7 shots on goal. Their kill is pretty good at 78.9, but the Boston Bruins do have a way stronger kill at 88.4. The power plays better for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So at 24.6%. Now, these teams did play earlier in November. It was a 3-2 win for the Boston Bruins. I just really am looking at this one as a game where I think Toronto will have a higher scoring one. They will outplay the Boston Bruins here at home. I'm looking for the Leafs to get the win. I'm going to stay off this total because I do lean to the over, and I actually really hate when I lean to an over with this kind of goaltending matchup. I just think something is going to be off in this game, and I don't know what it is. So instead of taking the total, just give me the Leafs here to be able to get the win at home. I'm going to take Tavares here as well. 4+ shots on goal, that coming in at plus 125. I'm also going to look at Austin Matthews for the anytime goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs, that coming in at plus 105. So I think there's value in this one. Okay, let's look at the next game here, you guys. We have the St. Louis Blues taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Now, looking at the odds right now on FanDuel, the St. Louis Blues plus 108, minus 130 for the Arizona Coyotes in Mullet Arena. And we have a total of 6.5. Now, minus 112 to the over, minus 108 to the under. Hoffer confirmed here for the St. Louis Blues and Ingram confirmed for the Arizona Coyotes. Now, these two teams did just play, I believe. It wasn't that long ago. And I do think the Arizona Coyotes can get the win in this one. Now, when we look at the St. Louis Blues, there's a look ahead situation. They've got 2 games on deck versus the Vegas Golden Knights. In Vegas on Monday and then back home on Wednesday. The Arizona Coyotes don't have a look ahead situation that I'm worried about at all. They've won their last 3, an overtime win on Thursday. That was versus the Colorado Avalanche. High scoring game of 4-3, and they did beat the Lightning 3-1. In the game prior to that, they beat Vegas 2-0. So the Coyotes are rolling. They're at home in this one. They're sitting 6-4 at home this season, 4-6 on that puck line versus the St. Louis Blues with Hoffer in. I do think they can come out nice and strong in this one. Now, the last time these teams matched up, we did see Arizona get the win. Binghamton got completely obliterated in that first period. He got yanked. Hoffer came in, and Hoffer only faced 12 shots on goal. We saw the defense really step up for the St. Louis Blues, and that's what they need to do if they don't want to see the same thing happen in this one, because I think Binghamton let in, 5 goals? It was crazy, you guys. I do think this is a game where we can see both teams come out strong to start this one. I'm going to look at the over 1.5 in the first period. I'm going to look at both teams to score in the first period. I'm going to look at this one over. Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, goal scorers here for the Arizona Coyotes. So much value on both of them. Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley in that last game didn't get a goal. I'm expecting those goals to come in for them. And then the Coyotes straight up on the money line Okay, let's jump into the next one here, you guys. We have three more to go over. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Anaheim Ducks is the next game we're going to talk about. Now, this one kicks off at 10 o'clock Eastern here. Minus 215 for the Avs, plus 176 for the Ducks. Total 6.5. Now, minus 118 to that over 6.5. Minus 104 to the under. I have a feeling this one stays under that total. We look at the Anaheim Ducks and they're on this huge losing streak. They've lost their last 8. I got a feeling that they can get the win here at home. I think they break their losing streak. So right now on that money line for the Ducks, it's plus 176. I'm going to put a quarter unit on the plus 176. I'm going to put a half unit on the plus 1.5 at minus 134. I do think it's the stronger of the bets. So I've got 3/4 of a unit totally on the Ducks. It's a hard team to really back on an 8-game losing streak, but I like what we've seen out of Gibson in net for the Ducks. His 2.1 or 2.81 goals against average and a save percentage of 0.906. I think he has what it takes to beat Colorado in this one. This is the first night of a back-to-back for the Colorado Avalanche, and guess who they play tomorrow in LA? The Anaheim, or not the Anaheim Kings, the LA Kings. They play tomorrow. This is a clear look ahead of my situation. The Kings a much better team. So it's a Ducks. It's a Ducks money line. It's a Ducks plus 1.5 on the puck line. And I know it's ugly, but hold your breath. Don't watch the game. You guys know that I love what I've seen out of Kale McCarr and Nathan McKinnon and the Avs team. But I do think look ahead situation, and you've got to really circle that look ahead situation. They're also off an overtime loss to the Arizona Coyotes on Thursday, 4-3. I think they really locked down strong defensively in this one, and that's why I do like that under as well. The under 6.5 at minus 104. Okay, the Washington Capitals, they are taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Let me just find odds on this one. Okay, Vegas, $2 favorite, minus 210, plus 172 here for the Capitals. Total is low, lowest total of the night. We got a total of 5.5, minus 130 to the over, plus 106 to the under. You guys, I got to do it. I got to go under in this game. We look at the Washington Capitals. They haven't been scoring enough for me to get this one over. Their special teams have been struggling on the power play. Their power play only converting, are you ready for this number? At 8.5%. Worst overall in the league. I do think this is a low scoring game where the Vegas Golden Knights win it 2-1, 3-1. I don't see this being even 4-1 stays under that total of 5.5. So I'm not seeing this being a high scoring one. I think the Capitals just struggling to score at the moment. Kemper in net for them. Now we know he has been allowing those goals to come in, but I do have faith in him to play a little bit of a stronger game. If my dog barks, I'm going to mute myself and tell him, no, there is a deer walking right across my front window, basically on my porch, it looks like. Now, Thompson expected here for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's got a 2.49 goals against average and a 0.916. Now, we know the Vegas Golden Knights are so strong at limiting opponents' ability to get these shots on their goaltender, holding opponents to 29.8 shots on goal. Their kill is phenomenal at 86.3, but the killing of the Capitals is pretty strong too at 81%. Power play, though, of Vegas at 21.2. So huge difference on the power play for these teams. The Capitals have to stay out of the box. They've struggled in Vegas as well. So this is Vegas's game to win in this one. Vegas in regulation coming in at minus 130. You can also look at Vegas on the puck line in the first period. I love that. Minus a half a goal in the first period at plus 134. I would look at that puck line as well for the full game. I just think this is Vegas's game. This is their first game home off the Pacific road trip, but Vegas is a team that you don't fade. That first game home off a road trip. I love them in these situations. So it's the under. Even though these teams trend over, it's the under and it's Vegas for me. Last game on the board. We have my Calgary Flames in action. Now they're minus 122 home favorites. They're facing the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks come in at plus 102. Total of 6.5, minus 112 to the over, minus 108 to the under. Okay, you guys. I love what we've seen out of Vancouver so far this season. And they've got Demko expected in net But I do think Calgary is just a tricky team for them to play. I think Calgary should be able to get the win in this one. I hate saying it because the value is all on Vancouver in this game. Jacob Markstrom expected here for the Calgary Flames. He's got a 2.93 goals against average and a save percentage of 0.9897. Demko here, he's been so elite, 2.22 with a 0.926 save percentage. This is a one-off road game here for the Vancouver Canucks. They had 2 games at home. They come to Calgary, and then they got 5 games on deck, at home. Calgary just won this matchup 5-2 back on November 16th. And Vancouver was on a back-to-back. I think they played the Sharks. So they played someone the night before. Or no, the game before went to OT. So Calgary did have the advantage of not being on the back-to-back, and we did see Vancouver on the back-to-back. Zadorov is gonna be this is gonna be crazy. So Zadorov, for anyone who hasn't been following what has been happening, Zadorov was with the Calgary Flames. He was traded on Thursday to the Vancouver Canucks. He didn't even leave the city, you guys. He met the Canucks this morning at morning skate. He's going to be facing Calgary, his team that he was just on as of Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and then traded to Vancouver. This is going to be crazy for the fans. It's going to be crazy for the teams. I think there's gonna be fights. You had Huberdeau saying, "I don't think he fits the blue." So I think Huberdeau and him might get into it tonight. I think this is a scrappy game, and I do think that Calgary has the ability to win it. Now, I think it goes over. I think this is one that goes to overtime. I think this is a 4-3 game. So give me the over 6.5. Zadorov here. I wouldn't be shocked if somehow he ended up scoring on Jacob Markstrom just to just to add one more stab to the Calgary Flames because he wanted gone from Calgary. Now, the first period, I like the both teams to score at plus 160 because I am expecting a high scoring game. Calgary needs to hit Demko and they need to hit him hard and fast. I also like the over 1.5 at minus 134. Now, the Canucks to score the first goal. I know I like Calgary here. If you like the Canucks tonight, to come out and score the first goal, and I do, even though I like Calgary to get the win. Canucks scoring the first goals coming in at plus 125 in the first period. Calgary's known for giving up that goal, and Jacob Markstrom known for giving up that fast goal as well. So I can see Vancouver scoring first in this one. If you want to go big or go home, right? Take Calgary laying the 1.5 on the puck line. Calgary laying the 1.5 on the puck line is plus 184 to get this win. Not sure if they can do it, you guys. It's a risky bet, but I do think this is an absolute battle. I like the overtime better, but if you don't think it goes to OT, this deer is hilarious, you guys. It's just looking in my window, staring at me, and my dog is staring at it. So barking breaks out. This is why. But you guys, that is it for everything. Just looking at that game going on right now. Oh man, I hope you guys grab the New York Rangers plus that 1.5. They have come back in the second period. This is a 3-2 game right now. I had the under 6.5, but I grabbed the Rangers as well, plus that 1.5 when we were live on here. So fingers crossed you got that with me. All the lines are locked right now. It is a 3-2 lead here for the Nashville Predators. But you guys, all the best in all your bets, all the best in the college football games as well. I'm going to get back to them again live on Sports Grid tonight from 8 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I've got to convert from my time to Eastern time to midnight with Scott Wetzel. Great guest, Mark coming on, and Brady Cannon. So join us over there for everything happening tonight, as well as tomorrow from UFC, college football, basketball as well. I've got a same game parlay in the Lakers game, actually, versus the Rockets. So make sure you join me. All the best tonight, you guys. Let's make some freaking money on the ice. If you're looking where to find the Sports Grid show, just head over to sportsgrid.com/watch or download the app. And the great thing about the app, you guys, is you can follow your favorite hosts. So you can follow Scott, you can follow Joe, you could follow myself, and you'll see all of my shorts and everything like that for tomorrow's football games as well. You guys have the best night. Bye now.